and we are talking about Bama Rush Tok. It's basically sorority rush week at the University of Alabama, and it's crazy. I told him I wanted to show him something that I knew
Okay.
he would know nothing about. There's something trending on TikTok right now that has been trending every year for, I think, the past like 4 years since TikTok kind of like became a thing. I wanted to get your first raw impression on this because you are Canadian, correct?
Legally, yes, I am
Born and
Canadian.
raised in
Yeah.
Ontario.
Yes.
I am from the South. I'm from Georgia, born and raised. I wanted to ask you, what is the extent of your knowledge on Greek life, aka sororities and fraternities?
Zero.
And that's exactly what I thought.
Greek life?
It's called Greek life. Basically, at university, you can join a sorority or a fraternity, depending on if you're a man or a woman. And it's basically an exclusive club that you have to spend a week trying to get into. You have to pay for it on top of your tuition. So if you get in, you have to pay like a semester, I think, tuition for the
What does this do? What does this club do?
it is a purely a social club where you also do philanthropy. Like each sorority and fraternity, I don't know about fraternities, but for sororities, they support a cause like a charity usually. It's mainly just to be a part of it and say that you're a part of it.
Were
And
you a part of any of these?
no, I think when I show you some references, you'll kind of see why. In the South, Greek life is a huge thing. There are people who have like three generations of women or men that have been in fraternities or sororities. And so when they go to college, they have to get into that house or like they're going to be a disappointment to their family basically.
Why do they call it Greek life, real quick?
It's because the each house has their own name and it's Greek. It's Greek words, Greek letters. So it's like we have like
Oh,
theta, we have like kappa. I don't know the names. I don't know. Phi mu is one of them. Alpha, gamma, something like it's kind of like that basically. Um,
Canadians in the chat, educated Canadians in the chat. Do we have this?
no,
Is this a thing?
it's
100
exclusively
coming up?
it's exclusively American.
I've seen it in movies,
Yes.
but I didn't know like details. I'm like, this is maybe this is beyond me because I didn't pursue a post-secondary education. So
Right.
like, I'm like, maybe this is a party thing. I'm not also not a party person, so who knows?
Yeah. So it's basically like when you join these sororities and fraternities, like you're required to go to a certain amount of parties throughout the semester, throughout the year. If you don't attend the parties, you can be fined, like you can be charged.
What?
You have to attend certain like meetings and like I'm sure there's like community service and stuff like that. You have to dress a certain type of way. Usually, you have to have a certain type of appearance. People will say that appearance doesn't really matter, but that's a lie because people will
It
get
does.
dropped for not looking the way that they're supposed to.
There's a dress code.
There's a dress code. I feel like the more southern areas that you go to, it's way more strict appearance wise. And usually, like, when you see some of the biggest sororities, they all look identical. Every year so far on TikTok, there has been one university that is like the Olympics for people, and it is the
Eh,
University of Alabama. If you're not familiar with Alabama, it is like the most southern wealthy people. And so it's like a week of them showcasing their very expensive outfits. They can't talk about a lot during the week because the sororities are very strict about what information you leak. There's a lot of rules. There are a lot of rules that could keep you from getting a bid, which is basically you getting invited to be a part of the sorority.
There's so many more rules now every time you say a sentence.
Oh yeah, I can't even fathom the half of it. Just what I've seen so far on TikTok and what I've learned, from friends that I've had that have joined sororities. It is very strict, and like their like social media accounts are private because people can't find out that they're like drinking, even if they're of age. Like
Okay.
they can't show that they're drinking or partying or anything like that on social media, or they'll get kicked out. Rush week is the week where you're going around to all the houses and you're basically trying to gain their favor. You're seeing which one is a good fit for you. And so it's like a week of outfit of the days, and these girls are posting like their most expensive outfits. Some of them are thousands of dollars.
This is crazy
It's
to me.
crazy. Noodle says, I know about the University of Alabama because my dad was born at a graduation party there.
What?
House Bunny, yes, that is one of my favorite movies. Also, Legally Blonde. The first part of Legally Blonde is about her and her sorority, and that alone made me want to join one. But the reality is that like I sororities are were never for me. I would never have gotten. I never would have gotten in. I don't think. I don't think I would have made it.
I already know my edgy ass youth, and honestly, probably me right now. I would have felt I'm too good for them. So I don't think I would have
Yeah.
joined one of these things. Yeah.
So you can see a preview of what I'm talking about, right? There's this one girl, May. She's kind of like the top dog right now.
Kind of looking like it with those views. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets a ton of views. Some of the girls from these weeks will become influencers because they get so much engagement during Rush Week. There's one really popular girl at Alabama named Kylan, and she is like the most famous sorority girl at
Okay.
at Bama, and she honestly seems like a very sweet person, and honestly, like most of these girls are probably incredibly sweet, and I'm not trying to rag on them at all. This
Yeah.
week is just purely a spectacle for people because these girls are coming out with like their best clothes, their best makeup, their best hair, and it is purely a spectacle to see. I know you've never experienced anything like this before, and so I wanted to kind of expose you to it because for me, this kind of thing is like normal growing up in Georgia.
Doing social experiments on your
Yeah,
boyfriend. Got it.
people I went to high school with, like they all joined sororities like this, and so I was kind of exposed to this from a very young age. I just knew it was never going to be for me. There is a content creator on the third video. She breaks down the prices of all these girls' outfits, and I really enjoy watching her content. This one
So if you're
girl,
a brokey, you don't get in, right?
oh yeah, like it's gotten to the point. I've seen so many of these videos where the moment somebody mentions like Shein or Amazon, I'm like, you're out. And it's true that people will get dropped like for like the stuff that they have and the way that they look.
That's that's the worst. I
Yeah.
don't like
Just because I've heard stories from people on
that.
TikTok that were like, this is what I looked like, this is what I wore, and I didn't get any bids from anyone.
Already, here's my opinion on this. I'm gonna give my opinion before I even watch any of these videos.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is garbage, and I think this whole idea of these people are very nice and sweet, I think is already false because
Mm-hmm.
they are, sure, I'm sure she has some nice qualities as every human does,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also glorifying this lifestyle of judgment based off
Looks.
looks and wealth and all this stuff, basically putting down the lower class. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think these people are as good as we say they are.
No, and
So
obviously I don't know them. But I will say that I do know the type because I grew up with a lot of these types of people. Some of them can be so sweet and have great hearts, but
oh sure,
some of them don't.
not to get too political about it, but it's a lot of people who have like very hard leaning conservative views where they'd be like very homophobic, very racist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. Now, have those guys donated to charity before? Sure. I'm sure they've
Mm-hmm.
done a thing or two, but at their core values, they are not good people. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people can do good things and be bad people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the lesson of the day.
Yeah. For some videos it's like two girls because they're already living together, they're rushing together. And so
Okay.
here's one.
My dress is Spanx from South. My shoes are New Balance. My jewelry is E. Newton, Kendra Scott, E. Newton, Fossil, TJ Maxx, Amazon,
Oh,
E.
I
Newton,
almost threw up.
E.
Not
Newton,
related to the
E.
video.
Newton, E. Newton. We're so excited. Roll Tide!
Roll Tide, pretty like low level, right? Their outfits are very, I would say, very moderate. They've got some Amazon pieces, like, not too crazy, right?
They said a bunch of things I don't know.
They said a bunch of, yeah, they're all wearing E. Newton.
Is that a prestigious brand?
I don't, it
Why is
is,
their bed so high? That is true. Wait, go back.
yeah. No, look, in all these videos, the beds are so high. I think that's an Alabama thing.
What the frick? Okay, wait, no, go click on the one on the top left. Or yeah, that the
My
main girl.
bed, my bed was
Good
not
morning. It is
that
Deb
high.
What in the world is going on here?
Here is my outfit of the
I don't,
day. We'll start with
The
my
funny
shirt.
thing is,
It's
in
cute
most of these
too.
videos, I'll see like a little
It's
step
so
stool
cute.
by their beds
My
because they
skirt
can't
is
get
from
in. All these girls are
Chloe.
so
It's
short and
actually a
petite,
skirt.
they can't get into these
My
damn
shoes are Jimmy
beds.
Choo again.
I
And
couldn't get
here
into that
is
bed.
my
I'm
jewelry.
almost
It's pretty
6
much
feet.
the same.
Can
It's
you scroll
Pandora. We
through the
added
comments
this. It's
until you
from a
find one
boutique
about
in
the
my
bed?
hometown. And
Party
these are
City said the
Amazon.
room, the
And then this
outfit,
is
the
Christian
vibes are
Dior.
all on point,
I
but
hope
what
you all
about the
have an
bed?
amazing day.
None of these are talking about the bed. She probably filtered out the comments about the bed. Mama, they keep talking about the bed, how high my bed is. I can't help it.
It's a normal bed, right?
It's like they stacked 3 beds on top of a box spring. No one's talking about the bed.
Hey guys!
Hey.
Actually, literally twins today. It makes me happy. We look like twins. We look the exact same.
Are they drunk? These days are like 12 hours long, by the way. Like, they wake up
Okay.
at like 5 in the morning to be somewhere at 7:30 a.m. And they go around all the houses. They watch a video. They meet like I don't know, like the overlords of the houses. And they'll just kind of get to know like what their philanthropy is and all that stuff.
Now, is there no perspective of like none of this matters after college or university?
No. I think it depends on the company, but I don't think you'll get a job just because you were in a sorority. I think they
Yeah.
will look at the charity work that you did. I don't think that they care which house you're in. I think you could be in one of the lower end houses and they'd still be impressed that you did charity work. I don't know.
Now, here's another thing about that, right? What?
It depends on the university, but like in the South, I think it's pretty consistent which houses are like the best ones and which ones are like, oh,
You know what's interesting is we're watching The Walking Dead right now, and I'm not going to give spoilers of like major story arcs, but the theming
okay.
of this Walking Dead arc is the social elite returning to the world. Now, one of
Yes.
the I guess best parts of the apocalypse, the zombie apocalypse, was that there was no social classes
Mhm.
anymore. It was just everybody was equal because we're all just it's you're either alive or you're dead,
Mhm.
right? And now we're in this part of the season where they find this community where there is a distinct class system and a class disparity as well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of reminding me of this, where it's like, okay, we are the best house because we
Mhm.
do charity work. However, look how much you spent on all your outfits and making these
Yeah.
like high production things and putting all this effort and money. A
Mhm.
lot of these outfits are life-changing money.
Yeah.
So look where your priorities are of making appearances, and the sororities only value that. They don't value them as a person.
Right.
Maybe I'm taking this more seriously than I need to, but that's the vibe I get from this.
But
Being a lower class person and having that perspective.
this is Neo, this is exactly why this is trending because people feel the same way that you do, where they're like,
Okay,
"Why do I care about this?" Oh, because it's crazy. Because it's insane. And it's like conflicting because on one hand it's like it's their parents' money, you know? It's not like
yeah,
it's not their money. Their parents are already rich, which I'm sure that also plays a part in which house they get bids from. You know,
yeah,
who are your parents? Are they alumni from the university? I think that's a huge card to play. And
yeah,
on one hand, it's like, can I really be mad at them for having a ton of money to spend on these crazy outfits? I,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I guess not because
I guess
if
not, and it's not about that. Like I love girls being girls. I love femininity. I love all
yeah.
that stuff. They look great, right?
Mhm.
They look fantastic. They've done themselves up in such a way that's very, very nice. However,
Mhm.
it's the intent behind the visuals that I don't care for. It's
Yeah.
this to make appearances to appeal to this entity that at the end of the day does not matter, and it's all about looking good for a social class, not just looking good for you for yourself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
No, and it's
Like
like
I don't know.
also the nobody really talks about, I mean, not enough people talk about the aftermath of what if you get no bids and you put all this effort in and you think you look perfect and then they're like, "No, you're not. You're not good
Oh yeah,
enough."
then and who are they to say that? You know what? Like that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
Like
Most of the
at the end of
people
the day, like who the hell are you? Whether I have to impress you, you know what I
the
mean?
people who
Like
are making those decisions are maybe 20 years old,
yeah,
21. Um and they were just in their shoes like 2 or 3 years prior. So it's like yeah, truly, like who are you to tell me that I'm not worthy to be a part of this sisterhood? And
yeah,
usually it's for stupid reasons. Like I saw one girl who's a recruiter was talking about how she turned a girl down because when she asked who her favorite Office character was, she said Meredith. She got
Okay.
rejected because of that answer. So it's like,
Great. And if she didn't watch The Office, it's done. You're done.
it's like who would have been a better choice? Who would have been a cutesier choice?
Right?
Like who would have been a better choice? Meredith was a badass. It's very toxic.
If you scroll back up to the top, like all the way to the top,
Mm-hmm.
to expose my financial situation a little bit, right? I don't mind talking about my financial situation. It's not great. I have debt just like a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my debt is around the $10,000 range in total. Um, Now I'm looking at that outfit right there in that
Mm-hmm.
thumbnail. I don't even have to watch the video. $13,000.
This doesn't look like a $13,000
Alright, so we got this Lululemon shirt. It's $45.
dollar
Skirt
outfit.
is gold hinge.
Gold hinge skirt, $49.
$50
Gold hinge,
skirt.
if you see this video, please send me a skirt. I really want one of those.
Shoes are my custom Alabama Golden Goose.
Y'all heard her, custom golden goose.
Almost $600 for the
$130
shoes.
because they're custom, so whatever that.
Those are expensive.
E. Newton bracelets,
$124 bracelet.
Cartier.
Cartier is that's the one.
Ah.
7,000.
Cleef bracelet, it's
4,000.
something, I don't know.
David Yurman
David Yurman bracelet, $500.
Why?
Hermes.
Okay.
Bracelet, $700.
700.
But, maybe
Why?
I'll see the actual bracelet itself because
E.
it's
Newton.
E. Newton,
bracelet,
shout out.
$160.
Earrings are Amazon.
We have these
Oh,
earrings, they're
Amazon.
$50, and they're in my Amazon
And then
store,
my
so
necklace is
Get her out of here.
her necklace is from Bubble Bar. It is what, $58, and then the grand total is $14,392.
Oh, okay, in the thumbnail, she lowballed and said 13,000. It's actually $14,392.
So this person said exactly what I'm thinking. This not only gets me out of debt, this puts me in a decent amount of savings. This changes my life. Somebody in the comments has said my hospital bill is $13,000.
A lot of people are like, that's my
I mean,
tuition, that's my rent for the whole lease. I just wonder if some of the jewelry is just like a really good dupe and they're lying. I think that's more likely.
I hope so. I hope so. That would make me feel better. I don't want her to spend $14,000 on this because that is big money. And no matter how much you say, oh, we're a good sorority, we
Mhm.
donate to charity, we do all this stuff. No, you've spent bad money on the things that don't matter. You guys
Yeah.
have lost focus of what matters. And I get it. You're not running for president of the United States. You're a kid that's going into a new exciting phase of their life. Unfortunately, you're in developmental years and you're being taught the very, very wrong things.
Mhm.
And you're gonna let the power trip go to your head. I'm a
Yeah.
part of this thing now. But it doesn't matter.
Well, it's like you would think that they wouldn't care about wearing a $7,000 bracelet because they are about charity, but
Yeah.
that is absolutely a means for them to decline somebody for not wearing their best things and not proving that they are wealthy and that they're, I don't know, valuable, I guess is the word I'm thinking of, which is not true.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't agree with that at all, but I'm saying I think that is a real I think that's how they feel. I really do. Because
Yeah,
just for
even,
me,
you
like
know,
like growing up in the South and I went to a private school, what you wear, how you present yourself, the stuff that you own really does determine your level of popularity. I don't know, it's like there really is a class divide in the South, and especially
Yeah.
in situations like this where it's like social elite clubs, like you have to wear $7,000 bracelets or you're not gonna be good enough.
I've known people like this. I've
Mhm.
known people in my, my high school classes that were like this. I remember having this conversation with this girl. Shout out to Lydia.
Shout
All
out,
right.
Lydia.
I don't know what her last name is. That's not a dox. But anyway,
Yeah.
I remember her. We were talking about like clothing and all this stuff, and I was mentioning thrift stores, and she let out an audible ew, which is typical of high school kids. But anyway, so I wanted to. I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
explain. No. I want you just said ew. Let's hear. Walk me through your thought process. is what I told Lydia. And she said, well, it's dirty. I'm like, no, they washed the clothes. Just as you've washed your clothes. They're about the same amount of dirty. Also, we're in the same class.
Here's another tall bed. Here's a little room tour.
Oh, let's go tall.
Dorm tour. Look at this.
This is our bathroom area.
Is this the same girl?
And our
No, this is a different girl.
And here is
She
our
has...
bathroom.
This is a college
Here's our
dorm.
pantry/kitchen area. Okay, here is my bed. And then here is my roommate Olivia's bed.
The stools to get up is very funny.
Why are the beds so tall? What was
Why
the
are the beds
thought
so tall?
process? Do they want... It seems dangerous to me, because you know these girls be getting drunk.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. I can't get into my bed.
Stephanie, can you roll me up into the bed?
I can't lift you into the bed.
This girl said, can I please get a goth Bama Rush room? My goodness, they would literally kick you out.
Like I said, I'm not against the Barbie aesthetic. I think
love
it's
it.
cute, but
Look
like
at
also I
pink.
like a lot of other things as well.
See, this is cool. This is
this is
Auburn.
funny.
So this is still Alabama, but it's not the University of Alabama. It's Auburn. See, like, I love seeing stuff like this. That's really creative.
The
and fun.
comment, I love this movie.
Yeah, it's my favorite movie. They'll do these like dance numbers.
Yeah.
She's country. Oh god, I hate this song.
I'm looking for any amount of melanin in that crowd.
And
I don't think I could get excited about this. I don't think I could have it. I'm kind of
Yeah.
grossed out by it, to be honest.
no, it is. It's like,
not by the aesthetic and like how they look. They're fine.
look at the tall bed. Day in
She
the,
falls off.
day in the life as a Bama sorority girl. I wake up and I take the very
Some
long
math.
staircase. I take the very long staircase down to the floor from my bed.
It spirals.
Oh my god, it's a spiral staircase from the bed to the floor. Like that isn't like all I'm saying. All
That
these
actually
girls,
sounds kind of nice, though.
all these girls are short and petite, and they have the tallest beds I've ever seen at any college.
Spend a day in bed with me because my elevator.
Because it takes me all day to get out.
I'm really scared and I don't have any food up here.
I'm really scared, and it's really dark.
Go Alabama!
Go Bama, roll tide. Look at them kill this dance.
You gotta do it in one take.
No, if you don't do it in one take, we're gonna throw you off the top floor. One thing that I think other people can't help but think about is how did they pick who is in the front? And how did that conversation go?
Probably money.
Yep.
Registering for Rush alone is $375, along with recommendation kits consisting of photos and info about yourself that is sent around to past alumni.
It's like an audition.
Those come in around
You
$100.
pay for recommendation kits?
Outfit Rush is 8 days long, so you will need that many outfits, anywhere between $500 to $2,500. On top of that, first impressions are
Some of those are
important,
just
so
one day,
$200
though.
for makeup, $40 for a spray tan, $100 for a
The
mani-pedi, and
$2,500.
$150 to get your hair done. And since this all takes place in the Alabama heat, you're going to want a Rush bag with things like a water bottle, fan, extra makeup, notebook, hair ties, sunglasses. That'll run you about $150. And if you do get in, new member fees are around $4,500 for a whopping total of more than $6,500. If you need to save up for something like Rush or just replenish your emergency fund, opening
Just
up
forget
something
it.
called a high yield
Okay, so we're looking at like I would say probably 10K for the whole, what'd she say, semester?
This is making me a little sad.
It is sad. I think it's sad. Like, I get it on a level of like, I grew up around it. So like, I understand the psychology behind like why girls want to be in sororities, but like for me personally, it's like I don't want to have to go to a party, and if I don't go to a party, I have to pay a fine.
That's crazy to me. I don't like learning things that make me sad, and this made me sad.
I know, and I'm so sorry, but it's
No,
happening.
no.
It's happening right now.
Well, I'm also sad for like humans and people, and these girls
Yeah.
especially. Like they gotta like this is not what makes you matter. This is not what makes you matter.
No, this is not what people remember
And like
you for.
after you're done post-secondary education, this is not what's gonna make people like you. This is not what's gonna make you have people like have friends. This is not what gives you value in your life.
People get bullied in these sororities a lot. I've heard straight from people that like you can't trust anyone because you never know
Right.
who's talking shit behind your back or who's going to get you in trouble. You can't confide in people because there's a chance that they might go tell on you and then you get kicked out or something like that. It's like paying to be fake. I don't get it. I really don't. And it's so expensive.
Right.
This is what the elite is all about. They want to pay to be able to say that they were a part of something like an exclusive club like this. For some parents, for some like moms, like this is like the most important thing their child will ever do, because it's like a legacy thing. It's like, oh well, I was in Phi Mu, so you need to be in Phi Mu, and if you're not in Phi Mu, then you can just get the hell out. There's so much pressure on these girls to look a certain way, to act a certain way. For some of them it comes very naturally. For others it just feels like sacrificing yourself to just so you can be a part of a huge crowd of people.
You know what? Even the whole like, oh, it's good for networking, it's good for my future because, this will be good for my career if I know these people who are in my sorority and we're lifelong friends, we have each other's back. Here's the thing about that, right? Make friends with people with similar interests. Make friends with people who are going to the same field as you.
Yeah.
Because all these girls are from different educational backgrounds. So I think it's more valid to become friends with your intellectual peers than this club, this money club. Who cares?
Who cares, truly?
I've never seen something that doesn't matter so much in my life.
Yeah, and for someone who's not, especially someone who's not even American, I can imagine it looks absolutely crazy. And it is crazy. When I was in college, I had some guy friends that were in a fraternity. I've always had mainly guy friends in my life, so in college it was no different. And I got invited to a couple fraternity parties. I remember one of them I showed up with like 2 or 3 guy friends, and there's people at the door to like let people in. And I remember I showed up and they were like, you can't bring those guys in. And I was like, well, I'm not going in without the people that I came with. And also, like, how sketchy is that you don't want me to bring my guy friends in? And so there are rules for these parties where they want more women than men, which is so creepy and disgusting to me. Why else would you just want more girls than guys? Because there's more game. If you're out there and you're going to college and you want to do Greek life, like I'm sure there are some, depending on the university, there are some really cool, sororities or fraternities out there, but like I wouldn't let it consume you, and don't think that it's like the end of the world if
it doesn't determine your value.
It does not determine.
Really does not.
It doesn't determine your value, and after you graduate, no one's gonna even remember.
Now, hey, you want to get all done up for yourself?
Absolutely.
Or maybe, whatever, go for it. I think that's awesome. You know what? If people take pride in their appearance, I fully understand that. That's great. But don't let it be for this weird club that's all about money and appearances. It's awful. This is not the right reason to get all done up.
And I just think it's like in a time where people can't afford to eat or pay rent, like it's a very gross.
It's bad timing. Socially, it's very bad timing for this.
I think it's really bad.
We are not thriving as a species right now.
Yeah, and it's just so not inclusive. Like if you look at any of these videos, if you look at any of the crowds of these girls, can you see a person of color here?
No.
Most of these videos are just white girls. If there is a person of color, they're probably on the balcony.
Oh, behind all the white girls.
It's extremely white.
This isn't for me.
I know. It's not for me either. But I just I thought it would be interesting to get your reaction to it, because I knew that you would know nothing about it. We had to talk about it because it is trending.
Well, that is fascinating. As a lower class Canadian boy of color, this is very off genre for me.
Yeah.
I think it couldn't be more opposite. Like I said, be rich. That's fine. Be pretty, do yourself up, whatever. Make friends with some other people in your field. I feel like that could be very beneficial, right? Be like, oh, this guy's the head of Microsoft. We used to be in computer poop class together. Let's go be colleagues and work.
Computer poop.
On payroll, Bill.
People probably say like, oh, you guys are just hating, like you're haters. It's like, yeah, I am a hater. I think it's stupid.
Well, like I said, I've been very clear on my stance. I like the outfits; they have very cute looks. It's the intent behind them.
It is the intent. I agree. I think they're beautiful.
I think the intent makes it ugly.
Yeah.
These choreographed fun dances, that's a fun little club thing to do.
That's fun, yeah.
The judgment, it's all very gross. It's all very gross to me.
You have to spend so much money just to get in.
Spend that on
And
food and go around to the local food banks and give the friggin' food away.
yeah, we didn't even talk about the houses themselves and the amenities that come with the houses. But essentially, they have private chefs.
Oh, tootaloot.
Some of them have wraparound porches with TVs on them. Like, these houses are mansions. And so the girls live in
Okay.
these houses. There's a house mother who's like an older woman, probably like a motherly age, who lives in the house with them to make sure that they don't, get in trouble and stuff like that, which I think is weird for a 20-year-old to, like have to answer to someone who's not their biological mother at college. I think that's a weird concept.
That's weird. I don't like that. I didn't even know
Yeah.
about that. I hate that.
It's probably like someone who was in the sorority when they were in school, and now they've just.
And now they hang out with a bunch of kids? Ew.
I think that's so bizarre.
Go home, grandma. Like, damn.
But like in the South, like a lot of mothers are like that, where they want to be involved, and they'll be involved as much as humanly possible. And so I think it's just one of those people who just never grew out of it.
Okay.
And now they get a weird
It's
power
like the
trip,
definition
probably.
of peaked in college.
Yeah. But anyways,
Well, thanks for showing me that.
you're welcome.
Fascinating world to dive into. I wish it was like a cartoon thing.
I wish it wasn't. I wish it was just in the movies, but it's completely real.
Are you trying to move to Canada or?
Yeah, I'm already there. I'm
Oh, yeah.
already there. Take a look around. But I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation, and look forward to the next one. Okay, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.